Hello and welcome back. Today we're digging into lesson 10.4, distraction armor. We're going to talk about some phone rules that actually, work. Go ahead and open your workbook to the right page and let's get started. So, does this sound familiar? You get home from school, you're tired, you know you've got stuff to do, but you just check your phone for a second. And then you look up and somehow a whole hour is just gone. It really does feel like you lost the fight before you even sat down to work. And here's the thing I really want you to get. It's not a fair fight. Your brain is tired after a long day, and the apps on your phone were literally built by very smart people to be as engaging as possible. So this isn't about just having more willpower. It's about having a better system. And today, we're going to build you some armor to protect your focus. Okay, so let's get right into that. In your workbook, you should see a section called Why Willpower Fails. Just take a second and think about this question. Why is it so much harder to say no to your phone when you're already feeling tired or stressed out? Well, it turns out willpower isn't some magical, infinite thing we can just summon. A better way to think about it is like a muscle, or maybe the battery on your phone. It's a limited kind of energy for self-control, and it gets weaker when you're stressed, hungry, tired, or just feeling totally overloaded. It runs out. So on your page, I want you to write down one reason that willpower fails for you. What drains your battery? Go ahead and pause here and fill that in. And that's exactly why we need something different. We need what we're calling distraction armor. See, this isn't about trying harder or just gritting your teeth. It's about building smart systems that protect your attention for you, especially for those moments when your willpower battery is blinking red. So let's make sure we've got this. At the very top of your page, you'll see a spot for a definition. Based on what we just talked about, what is distraction armor? Try to put it in your own words. Go ahead and pause here to do that. How do we build this armor? Well, the secret is using friction, not restriction. Restriction is when you just make a rule like, I'm not going to check my phone. It relies on you having perfect self-control, and we already know that fails when we're tired. Friction is different. It's about changing your environment to make it just a little bit harder to get to the distraction in the first place. And what does that actually look like? Well, it can be really simple stuff. Putting your phone in another room is a big one, or even just leaving it zipped up in your backpack. It could be turning on Do Not Disturb, setting timers on your apps, or my personal favorite, changing your screen to grayscale. It suddenly makes it way less interesting. These are all small moves that create a little bit of helpful distance. In this section that says friction beats restriction, I want you to look at that list or think of your own and write down 2 friction moves you think you could actually use. Go ahead and pause here to write those down. All right, the next piece of our armor is called the first 10 minutes rule, and this is so important. That first 10 minutes when you get home from school or when you sit down to start any big task, it's absolutely critical. That little window of time often decides if you fall into what we call the drift, just mindless scrolling, or if you actually get started on your work. This rule is designed to protect that starting line. So how does it work? It protects your zero entry. You might remember this. Zero entry is that calm, focused state you need to really start working well. If the phone grabs your attention in those first 10 minutes, you never even get there. You start right away in the drift. So this rule basically builds a little wall around that crucial starting time. Okay, find the next section on your page. In your own words, I want you to define the first 10 minutes rule and then explain how it actually protects your focus. Pause the video and take a minute to complete that section. All right. Okay, great. We've talked about the big ideas. Now it's time to actually build something. Let's move down to the Apply It section and create your own personal distraction armor plan. So, first things first, you have to know where you're most vulnerable. When does the drift usually get you? Is it right after school, in the middle of studying, or maybe late at night when you should be winding down? On your page, circle the one that's the biggest challenge for you. Now, we're going to build a 4-part plan to defend that time. You're going to create a specific phone rule, choose a friction move that makes that rule easier to follow, pick a replacement move, which is just what you'll do instead of grabbing your phone, and finally, a start trigger to kick the whole plan into action. All right, this is probably the most important part of what we're doing today. I want you to pause here and take all the time you need to thoughtfully fill out this entire Apply It section. You should have a solid plan on your page now. The last step is to do a quick systems check and reflect on what you can really commit to right now. Let's be real for a second. Trying to change everything all at once usually doesn't stick. So in that reflection section, I want you to think about just one, simple phone rule from your plan that you can actually stick to for the next 7 days. What's one small thing you know you can do? All right, let's wrap this up. Go ahead and complete the last 2 sections, the systems check and the reflection questions. Assess where you are now and make that 1-week commitment. We'll pause here one last time so you can finish up the page. So let's do a super quick recap. We learned that willpower is a limited resource, so we shouldn't rely on it. Instead, friction beats restriction because it changes our environment. We talked about how the first 10 minutes rule is key to protecting your start. And most importantly, you now have a personal plan to make all of this a little bit easier. This is really how you stop fighting a losing battle and start building a system that actually helps you, even when you're tired. Now, go ahead and finish the lesson 10.4 page in your workbook. Coming up next in lesson 10.5, we're going to talk about why being smart isn't always enough to reach your goals.